The Qnique quilting machine features a high-performance motor capable of a stitching speed of 1800 stitches per minute. The Qnique also comes with superior built-in stitch regulation to keep all those stitches consistently beautiful. A stitch regulator keeps the length of your stitches consistent by speeding up or slowing down your machine's stitch speed based on your movement. Without stitch regulation, you have to move the machine at a constant speed to keep the stitches the same length. If, for example, you were to go a little faster or slower around a curve with your machine, your stitches would be inconsistent around that curve. Stitch regulation matches the stitching speed to your movements, speeding up and slowing down with you to keep your stitches the same length. The Qnique features 4 different stitch modes. Not all of them are stitch regulated. Each stitch mode has its benefits and will be useful in different types of stitching. The stitch mode can be chosen in the menu. Precise mode uses stitch regulation. Before stitching, you can set the length of your stitches by adjusting the stitches per inch setting, or SPI. A lower SPI number will make the stitches longer. A higher SPI number will make the stitches shorter. In precise mode, pushing the start button will not start the machine sewing right away. Instead, the machine will now start sewing once you start moving it. As you are sewing in precise mode, the stitch regulation will speed up and slow down the stitching speed to match your movements. It is possible to move too fast for the stitch regulation. If this happens, a warning beep will sound letting you know that you may be moving too fast to keep the stitch length consistent. In precise mode, whenever you stop moving the machine, the needle will stop as well. The needle will not return to the up or down position, but will stop wherever it is in the cycle when you stopped moving the machine. Once you start moving the machine again, the needle will begin sewing. Push the stop button when you are done stitching. The precise mode is great for ruler work or any kind of geometric sewing patterns, especially with straight lines and corners. The starting and stopping process of precise mode might not be best for flowing or small detailed patterns. For that, we'll look at the cruise mode. Cruise mode is another stitch-regulated mode that will speed up and slow down with your movements. Like the precise mode, you can adjust the length of your stitches with the SPI setting. Unlike the precise mode, however, when you stop moving the machine in cruise mode, the needle doesn't stop but will continue stitching at a slower, constant rate. This continued stitching makes sewing into and out of a point easier, like when stitching feathers. It is also good for small, flowing, or detailed patterns like microstippling. The manual stitching mode is not stitch regulated. You can adjust the stitching speed up or down on screen. This sets a constant stitching speed. Press the Start button to begin stitching, and press it again when you are done to stop stitching. When using manual mode, it is important to keep the machine moving at a constant speed if you want to keep your stitch length consistent. Many people like manual mode for intricate stitching like pebbles, micro-stitching, and small stippling. The Qnique includes a baste mode, usually used in places to hold the layers of your quilt together. The size of your basting stitch can be set on screen. The options are a small, medium, or large basting stitch. After pressing the Start button, the machine will start basting only when you move it. When you stop moving the machine, it will stop stitching. Press the Stop button when you are done basting. Those are the different stitching modes of the Qnique quilting machine. For more information on the Qnique, please be sure to visit www.graceframe.com.